5, 4, 3. Welcome to the Dirty Sports Podcast. Jesus.
You're right, dog.
Yeah, get some of my. Oh, man. 5, 4, 3. Welcome to the Dirty Sports Podcast. I'm your host, Andy Ruther, coming to you live today from the Smut Studio in Venice Beach, California, with my co-host, Joey No Chill Prano.
Hello, Andy. Happy Monday morning.
The second to last day of the month. Moving right along, Joe. We're almost on to May.
It's going to be May.
Oh, nice little reference there.
So shout out to your Dent Report episode.
I appreciate that. It's actually my old boss Lance Bass's birthday this week, too. So I just want to let everybody know I am missing
It's his birthday today.
No, it's his birthday the 4th.
Got it.
But I just want to let everyone.
Wow, it's going to be May, and then May the 4th.
Yeah.
Talk about a week of virgin holidays.
Yeah.
First, the virgin girls who were obsessed with NSYNC when they were teenagers and have still yet to have sex. And then the virgin dudes who've been obsessed with Star Wars their whole life. They should get together on, like, May the 2nd.
And just bang?
Yeah. It's gonna come fast.
I'm bummed, though, man. He's having, like, a massive 40th birthday party that I'm missing because it's the night before the goddamn marathon. So the things that I do for you dirtballs, I'm just going to look into the camera on that. The things I do for you guys. I'm missing a party that could be attended by multiple boy bands at once. A once-in-a-lifetime event probably for me. No. Missing it. Because I got to run 26.2 miles on Cinco de Mayo.
Things you do for the Dirtballs?
Yeah.
How's the marathon for the Dirtballs?
Because it's for the dirtballs.
Okay.
It's for the dirtballs.
I feel like it's so that you can feel a sense of accomplishment.
And it's also for my little brother. You're welcome, Mark. I'm going to your dental school graduation. Just saying. Like, I'm like this close to being in a boy band, basically, by going to that party, by missing it, not happening.
Yeah.
Agreed?
Yeah, agreed.
100%.
Sure. I'm just trying to wrap this up.
Okay. We got a lot of sports to talk today.
That's what I was going to say.
A lot of sports.
I want you to feel like you've significantly and thoroughly covered your boy band potential, but we got a lot of stuff to talk.
A lot of stuff to talk.
What, I didn't look at the rundown.
You didn't?
No.
Well, I didn't think you would. Didn't matter. It's basically
but
NBA playoffs
but
and
what
NFL
I want
draft.
to know is, like, in Andy Ruther, like, breaking. Like, first thing, what's the top story on the Dirty Sports Podcast on a Monday after Game of Thrones, the draft?
Well, the Game of Thrones is still really big in my head.
I got to say, I thought it was kind of a boring episode.
Interesting.
Yeah, that's my hot take. I fell asleep once.
Ooh.
I mean, I watched it super late.
Yeah.
I fell asleep and I came back out of it. But I was kind of like, it's one of those things I feel like in a lot of, there won't be spoilers, so don't worry. I feel like in a lot of, like, war or superhero or whatever, it's like sometimes the battle scene, you're like, what is actually going on here? And there was, like, a lot of, like, I'm still confused as to who died, who didn't die.
Yeah, me too.
Like,
I think they wanted to make it that way.
Yeah. But obviously, there were some great moments.
Yeah.
But it was a long episode for, like, a couple great moments.
Yeah.
Hour and a half.
I liked it, though. I was debating if I did or didn't like it. I liked it. So my head's there. My head's obviously NFL draft, NBA playoffs, still trying to assess the Rockets-Warriors game yesterday. A lot of people have a lot of takes. You watched it, I assume.
I did.
I watched it start to finish. Obviously, the officiating is the big question going on here.
I tweeted yesterday, and I forget the guy's name now, Courtney Kirkland.
Okay.
I said, I should not know who Courtney Kirkland is. Do you know who Courtney Kirkland is?
Is that a referee?
Yeah, he was the black ref that was missing every call. And Here's my issue with that game and the officiating in general. I'm not like let's every ticky-tack foul should be a fucking thing and like whatever. But Jeff Van Gundy, Mark Jackson, Mike Breen, and the referee that they like use as like their Mike Pereira type, whoever the fuck it is, Sal Gigante.
I would say some Italian dude in New York.
Yeah. All agreed. There was 5 of them. They agreed on 5. Like I think it was 3 on Clay in the first half, 1 on somebody else in the first half, and then 3 on Clay in the first half, and then there was 2 big ones in the second half. They all agreed that these are fouls for sure.
Yeah.
And I understand that the league maybe is thinking like, I mean, look, I don't know why the league would be pushing Warriors. I don't know what that would be. I think everybody's pretty sick of the Warriors.
Okay.
But if there's some sort of league-wide mandate that, like, we're not giving them the you can land safely thing anymore, if we're not enforcing the Zaza rule anymore, because Zaza obviously dove under the legs of Kawhi Leonard, and that was where the rule that you have to be able to land came from, because we just got Kawhi Leonard back basically after 2 full seasons of like on and off injury from him fucking landing on a guy's foot. You make that decision after the season.
Yeah.
Or make that decision and put something out going into the playoffs. Guys, we're not going to, like, if you're forcing this, we're not going to do it. Here's what you absolutely cannot do. You cannot make the decision that something for the last few years and the whole season and the first round of the playoffs that's a foul is not a foul between the first round and the conference semifinals. The decision to just randomly go from one game to the next, and now this is no – guys, it was a foul. All of them. They were fouls. They were fouls. This isn't an argument. Mark Jackson is the former coach of the Warriors. He's like, they're fouls. I don't know what to tell you, Jeff. The fouls. It was just so fucking stupid. And then the people that are coming with like, James Harden went 9 for 28. If he doesn't go 9 for 28, it's still a game. First of all, how about 9 for 23? 9 for 23 is not so bad. If he gets those 5 foul calls, he doesn't have those field goals. Also, it was a game down to the last possession, despite the Rockets, 1, not getting the foul calls, and 2, having multiple technicals throughout the game because they weren't getting the foul calls. That game was blatantly stolen from the Rockets, in my opinion. Blatantly. And then
I don't know if I'm ready to go that far.
And then suddenly it's like the NBA cares about the ticky-tack foul rule and people landing, but the Kevin Durant sweep through is still a foul?
There's a lot of questions.
I'm going to go. It was 4 times that they mentioned Courtney Kirkland's name. First of all, I shouldn't know your name. And second of all, he's on the take. What other explanation is there?
He's on the take. Wow, you're coming in with a hot take this morning.
5 of them in the game. Same referee. And by the way, I agree with people who are like, Rockets basketball isn't fun to watch. Like, this is not like what I want to blah, blah, blah. Okay, fine. The bottom line is, guys still have to be able to land. They have to be able to land.
Well, look, obviously it was a very close game, even with all that.
Yeah, even with the missed fouls, even with the technical fouls at the end of the game.
But
even with the technicals at the end of the game, it's a 3-point game.
But
a 4-point game.
You do, I mean, if you look at the stat line, and I have it pulled up, you do have to shoot better. That's not just James Harden. I mean, him and Eric Gordon go combined 8 of 29 from 3-point range. 8 of 29. That's terrible. As a team, they shoot 14 of 47, 29.8%. You can make the argument they just make a couple more threes, they win that game.
Right. Now take 5 out. and make it 8 for 24, and that's 33% of your threes. And that's about right.
I didn't like the officiating because it is confusing. There's no.
It's not confusing. There's no confusion.
Well, there's no. It's like when you watch an NFL game and I tweeted that out. There's no consistency of knowing what a catch is, and during that game, you felt there wasn't consistency of the landing rule, which, to be honest, I haven't fully understood myself. Like,
if the defensive player jumps straight up in the air, right, then he can land where he jumped from.
Okay.
Right? If the offensive player jumps straight up in the air, then he can land where he jumped from.
But I also don't like.
But there's a momentum going forward when you shoot, and there's a momentum coming towards somebody when you go to block their shot. If you land, and this is what kept happening, if you land underneath them or if you contact them like Clay kept doing, Clay's thing was he would jump and he'd go with the hip while still in the air. He'd hip check people on their way down. It's like it's not a matter of whether or not that's affecting your shot. It's a matter of is it affecting you mentally that you can't land safely after you shoot, and guys are getting away with it.
But I would argue this as well. I think a lot of these guys, especially James Harden, they're not even trying to make the shot. They're trying to get the foul with the way this rule's set up. Does that make sense? Where I don't like that play of basketball either, where you're like kicking out and you're trying to land in a certain position that he does foul you, but you're also in a way not even trying to make the shot, if that makes any sense.
Sure.
James Harden does that a lot.
Yeah. So does Steph Curry. So does Kevin Durant. In no world, in no physical world, for all the Warriors fans out there who complain about the style of play, in no physical world, if you wanted to take a ball from here and put it into a hoop, would this be your move? This would never be your move. No one shoots like this. He shoots like that because he wants to get fouled.
Sure.
So this is across the league. This is across the league from the leaning into people on threes, the sweep through arm technique, the leaning your body into somebody on layups. Steph Curry yesterday got a three-point play. He jumped into a guy, and then he made the shot, and then he got a three-point play. This is across the league. I have no problem saying if you initiate contact, there is no foul. What I have a problem with is it's a foul today, but it's not a foul tomorrow.
Consistency.
You have to have consistency.
But that's what I'm saying.
You have to, because they're consistent that Kevin Durant, who's 7 feet tall and can shoot over anybody, suddenly wants to bring the ball down by his waist and then wrap it to the right like he's shooting some sort of hook shot on every jump shot that he takes on the baseline and get his arms tangled in people and try to foul guys out.
So you really think that game was stolen by the refs?
It was a 4-point game that came down to a final possession with 5 blatant blown 3 calls and 3 technical fouls. Chris Paul ejected Mike D'Antoni. It reminded me of watching Jordan versus the Bulls, or Jordan versus the Knicks back in the day, because the Knicks would do everything and just seemed like every time. But the problem with that is, like, I understand the NBA going, we are a blatant fucking Michael Jordan machine. This guy's selling basketball around the world. He has to win. No one wants to see Anthony Mason and Charles Oakley elbowing guys in the throat in the NBA Finals. This does not sell basketball to China. I understand it. But tell me how Warriors Bucks or Warriors Celtics or Warriors Raptors is better for the league than Rockets Raptors.
I don't know. I mean, you're delving down the conspiracy well right now.
I'm going, how do you blatantly miss 5 times? How does the call change from one? Because, again, we're making a league-wide mandate to the referees. No more of this ticky-tack shit. People hate this game where it's just going to be Warriors-Rockets, who can get fouled more. But the Kevin Durant sweep-through move, still very legal. The no place to land rule, like, to me, it's like if you're going to say no more bullshit fouls, then none of these are fouls. I mean, Jeff Van Gundy yesterday said all of these plays where these guys can't land are fouls, and we have to change the Kevin Durant sweep-through rule. That was Jeff Van Gundy yesterday. Now, I know Jeff Van Gundy coached the Rockets at one point, but I don't think he gives a shit.
Yeah. Well, obviously, if you listen to the game, you are right. There was a unanimous agreement amongst the announcers
and the ref
that there was bullshit calls missed consistently.
Yeah.
Kevin Durant saved them, man.
And I'll tell you, let me say one other thing about this before we get into Kevin Durant. I think the Warriors have played the refs like a fiddle the last couple of years. Draymond Green's move at this point is to get a technical foul early and then know that he can say anything he wants the rest of the game without getting thrown out, because they're not going to throw him out, because they never give him a second technical foul. Chris Paul got thrown out.
We got thrown out with 3 seconds left.
Yeah. But Draymond Green gets a technical foul early and then berates refs the rest of the game. And Steph Curry.
It's not a bad tactic.
Yeah. And then Steph Curry yesterday should have fouled out with 9 minutes left to go in the game. The dude was getting abused defensively.
We had 5 fouls for a long time.
Yeah, and they refused to call the last foul, even though he was fouling guys worse than he was prior to that. They were just like, well, we're not going to foul Steph out.
This to me is where the NBA definitely has, I don't even know if you want to use the word conspiracy, but they have issues because I really think they change the game differently, how they call it. Like you're saying, they know it's not going to be good if Steph Curry fouls out with 6 minutes to go in the game.
Right.
Like, they know it's not going to be good if Draymond Green gets thrown out. I think they really do change how they call it. And we're not talking one call here. We're talking a lot of it's played out. Obviously,
dude, watch Draymond Green, I would say 50% of the games he plays, he gets a technical in the first quarter. And then and how many times has he been thrown out of a game?
Yeah, I don't know what they're told. I don't know how they're supposed to handle it. But Kevin Durant, I want to talk about him for a minute.
Yeah.
He went off against the Clippers in Game 6, 38 in the first half, 50 total points. He scores 35 yesterday. Steph has a quiet 18.
Steph's becoming my least favorite player at this point.
Why is that?
A quiet 18, hits a big three at the end of the game. Did he pound his chest more times than points he had in the game after that three? It's like, dude, you're at this point Kobeing Kevin Durant. Like,
yeah.
Kevin Durant carries you.
Kevin Durant's the guy on them.
Kevin Durant carries you in a backpack around fucking the playoffs.
Make no mistake about it, anybody listening. Kevin Durant is the guy. Anybody trying to debate who's the fucking guy on the Warriors, it's KD.
I mean, the guy's debating that. Like, yeah. They're the Phillip Rivers. Like, we'll get there. They're the Phillip Rivers. We know your name now. Like, what's the one dude? What's this one Steph Curry slipper that we like?
Gomez?
Like, yeah. It's like Gomez, is it? Is it Gomez?
I don't know.
The one dude fucking had to get blocked because it's like, KD, Steph's the best player in the whole league.
I mean, if you're an NBA fan, you can't watch the Warriors and say, this is KD, and not say this isn't KD's team.
No, KD's incredible.
He's amazing.
Yeah.
So
now does Kevin Durant leave if they win, or does he leave if they lose?
He's leaving regardless, I think.
You think he's leaving regardless?
Yeah.
Because I almost feel like their strategy a little bit is to blatantly turn the team over to Kevin Durant.
Okay, interesting strategy.
You're watching and you're going, who can watch at this point and not say that it's Kevin Durant's team? Nobody. Anybody who says otherwise is an idiot, and I think that's a Steve Kerr Strategy. He doesn't want to lose Kevin Durant.
Yeah.
Dude,
It's a good strategy.
Here's a question, and I think we all know the answer. Does Steph Curry win an NBA title ever again if Kevin Durant leaves?
It's an interesting question.
Because we know he's not leaving the Warriors. We know he's not ring chasing at the end of his career. He's got 3.
Yeah.
He's Mr. Warrior.
I think if Kevin Durant leaves, he doesn't win another title.
I think Steve Kerr also agrees with you.
I'm leaning towards that.
I think Steve Kerr agrees with you. And Steve Kerr is like, Kevin Durant, this is your team, dog.
I mean, we don't want to play the whole what-if game, but it is interesting to think if Kevin Durant never joined the Warriors. It is interesting to play that out. I mean, you hate to go there, but that Cavs team with fucking Matthew Dellavedova, Shane Moskoff,
Timothy
Moskoff.
Yeah.
Won 2 games.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. They won 2 games in the finals.
Yeah.
It's kind of wild to think about that. This will be a good series, though, dude. I know it's 1 game.
The thing is, that's the other thing I don't understand about the NBA. The Warriors might win this series, and the Warriors might win this series if they lose yesterday. But one thing is for sure. The Warriors are far more talented than the Rockets, and they have home court advantage.
Sure.
If I'm the NBA commissioner, I want the Rockets to win Game 1. That, for me, makes a 7-game series.
Yeah. I think the NBA definitely needs this to be a 7-game series.
It's the NBA Finals.
They want it to be a 7-game series.
You would think so.
Yeah.
You therefore think that if all they needed to do to make that happen is call fouls the way they've been calling them the last 4 NBA seasons, that they would just stick with it.
Yeah.
You would think.
Well, let's move on to the earlier game of the day. The Celtics dominated the Milwaukee Bucks in very impressive fashion in the early game. Now, if you're Paul Pierce, you watch this game, and I put this up on Instagram and on Twitter. I'm sure a lot of you guys saw it. You think the series is over.
Well,
Can we just get some control on this individual?
no. See, I think
He literally is saying the series is over after 1 game. Did you see Chauncey's reaction?
Yeah, I almost feel like the answer is like we have to put like Paul Pierce is Skip Bayless. Like it's now you're now getting played when you share it on Instagram.
Okay. I see your point.
He trolled you.
Fair point.
You bit. You got he reeled in a fucking 135-pound fucking, swordfish. He got you, bro.
I'm 160 pounds, by
Whatever.
the way. 135. What am I, twink?
Yeah, he's a troll. And he got you. And he gets people every week.
But I think Paul Pierce
He's trolling.
No, hold on. I think he's that unique blend of troll and moron.
Well, he's certainly not a Rhodes Scholar, but
there's very few troll and morons out there. I think he's both. You honestly don't think he believes that when he says that?
no. He's Celtic fanning. He's trolling. Maybe he's a moron. I think he's mostly Celtic fanning and trolling.
But to the actual game,
the
Celtics looked great.
Well, it came down to one thing and one thing only, and this is where coaching is everything. Brad Stevens came with a plan for Giannis.
Yeah.
And it worked.
Yeah.
And it worked.
They played him great.
Al Horford played him fantastically.
Amazing.
It's one of those things where I liked the Bucks, like I said, I didn't like the way they played against Detroit is whatever. Detroit didn't belong to be there, didn't deserve to be there in the first place. But the way they played down the stretch, you were like, oh, no one's stopping this guy. Like,
Yeah.
he's going to get his.
Sure.
And there is something with playoff experience.
Sure.
And there's some guys on the team who have it, but, like, as a whole, they don't have a ton. And their star is super young and doesn't have a ton. I think this is going to be a great series.
I agree.
But, yeah, just coming out in game one on the road and having a plan for Giannis.
I mean, they dominated that game.
Yeah.
From start to finish.
Yep. And it was simply that every time the Bucks would make a run, they'd answer.
Yeah.
But it was because Giannis never got going.
Never got going.
When they would get close, they didn't have their star to push them over to get them out to a lead.
Yeah. No, exactly. And obviously some great contributions from guys like Jaylen Brown and, like you said, Al Horford played amazing on defense.
Yep. Hayward played great.
Yeah.
How many did Hayward finish with?
He finished with 13.
Yeah. Looked great in the first half.
Yeah, he hit a good first half. No, they looked great. They're going to be tough, man. I didn't see this coming.
And look at the balance. 20, 26, 19, 13.
Good balance.
Yeah. And
11 from Rozier.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Rozier, dude, they've been giving Rozier 20 minutes. Like,
if Rozier and Brown can give you what they gave you yesterday, 30 combined points,
yep,
you're probably not going to lose.
Right.
If those guys can give you 30 points.
Dude, like, Rozier has been I've been saying the whole time, like, that was the difference between this year's Celtics and last year's Celtics, is they were getting nothing from Terry Rozier this year because of the way that they were using him and Kyrie.
Sure.
It was almost like he was spelling Kyrie, but they were never playing together, and it was like one or the other. Kyrie had to take over games because Rozier's not doing jack shit. And now they're playing some minutes together, which they did in the first round, and like those two together, it's like that's it. That's kind of what it comes down to.
Look, but if you look at the stat line, look how efficient these guys are.
Yeah.
Al Horford, 8 of 16. Kyrie, 12 of 21. Jaylen Brown, 18 of 14. Rozier, 4 of 8.
Yep.
Gordon Hayward, 5 of 8. So I just listed all those guys. That's over 50% shooting.
Yep.
They were nothing but efficient yesterday. And the point you made about inexperience, I think, showed up yesterday, and we'll see how it plays out.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you what, man, if the Celtics, and I didn't see it coming, I don't think a lot of people saw it coming, if they play like how they played yesterday, they are going to be a tough team to beat the rest of the playoffs. Plain and simple.
I still think the NBA Finals is this Western Conference series that we just talked about. But, look, I agree with you.
But, I mean, especially in the Eastern Conference.
Especially in the Eastern Conference. But also, look, you move on to the other series. Like, how fucking fantastic did the Raptors look?
Yeah, let's talk about that.
Kawhi Leonard
just goes off.
Yeah.
45, I believe he had.
Yeah.
Very efficient shooting.
Kawhi Leonard needs to be that guy for them.
Yes.
He needs to be. Because that is essentially what the Raptors as an organization haven't had in their history. You know?
Yeah.
Like, even going back to when, they a shocking couple series wins with Vince Carter. Vince Carter was a scorer, but, like, Kawhi Leonard is doing fucking everything. Putting the glasses back on.
Yeah. I mean, look at his stat line, Joe. 16 of 23.
Plus 26, 45, 11, 2 steals, a block. I mean,
the guy does it all.
10 for 11 from the line. It's ridiculous.
And Siakam played amazing, too.
Yeah. No, they were fantastic. Siakam, 29 points. And it's crazy. I mean, again, it's sort of even the Celtics game and this game, like, decided victories when you're only scoring 110 points.
Yeah.
It's like, usually don't have in the NBA like 20-point, 20-point wins usually 120, 100, 125, 105. This is 2 games where teams are scoring 108 and 112. You look at those are the two guys in double digits on their team.
Yeah. And the thing about here's the thing about the Sixers. The scoring is spread out, but you need more. Embiid can't have 16 points. He's got to be putting in 25 points.
Who is the guy?
Jimmy Butler can't have 10 points. He's got to be putting in
Dude,
at least.
that's great. 14, 16, 14, 10, and 17 from their starting lineup. But
you need 25 from Embiid. You need 17
here's
or
what
18
I'm gonna tell
from
you
Butler.
if you're the Sixers. If J.J. Redick leads you in scoring, you're probably going to lose.
Yeah,
You're probably going to lose.
sure.
J.J. Redick has the ability
Sure.
to lead you in scoring and your team win. But more often than not, if J.J. Redick leads your team in scoring, you're going to lose.
Yeah.
Because it means no one else went off.
That's what I'm saying. Embiid, in my opinion, for them to win games,
Butler's minus 23 on the game with 10 points.
Embiid's got to get at least 25 points. I think Embiid's got to be your guy.
Yeah, especially in a series where you've got Kawhi Leonard on the other side, who's obviously one of the great wing defenders in basketball. You're going to be able to put him on Harris or Butler or Redick or Simmons, whichever guy, starts to feel it.
Yeah.
You can move him onto that guy. Embiid has to be your dude.
Sure. He's got to be the guy. Not 5 of 18.
I mean, yeah, their shooting was pretty terrible all around.
Does
Tobias
this one
Harris,
game
6 for 17. Jimmy Butler, 4 for 12.
Does this game change your opinion at all moving forward? I know it's one game.
Well, I didn't like how the Sixers looked in the first round, so not really. That's why I said
You like Toronto in this series.
Yeah, and I said that after the first round. I said the Nets weren't going to win the series, but the way the Sixers looked against the Nets, I didn't love it.
Yeah.
And yeah, I do think Toronto wins this series. I still think it'll probably be a 6-game series.
They looked good. Looked really good.
Yeah. If you're getting that from Kawhi, look out, man.
Yeah. I wonder what the NBA thinks of Toronto in the finals.
Well, I guess we're going to find out come next round if suddenly you're allowed to dive under Kawhi Leonard's legs again. Right?
Because from a marketing perspective,
it's basically the Kawhi Leonard rule.
Because from a marketing perspective, you'd have to think the most enticing matchup, I'd assume, from the NBA's vantage point, would be Celtics-Warriors.
Probably. Although the thing is, and this is my problem with that series, yes, there's more star power on the Warriors, right?
Yeah.
And yes, they don't play as much of an isolation game of basketball as the Rockets. So if you're weighing it, okay, you got Steph and KD and Clay, who's like maybe a half a star, like in terms of like a marquee.
Yeah, for marketing.
Yeah. But you do have James Harden and Chris Paul.
Yeah.
Right?
Who you're seeing nonstop in commercials.
Yeah. And yes, the Warriors play a more, I don't know, a better brand of basketball, right?
Yeah.
People don't like the isolation basketball. People don't like it. Okay. But the Warriors have been there 4 times in a row.
Sure.
That's got to play into the equation. Like, people getting bored. The Warriors win every year.
I don't think people get bored, though. I think they are.
You should read any tweets ever. Like, I don't watch the NBA. We already know who's going to win every year.
Yeah, but I think that's people just spouting off. People are idiots on social media. They still watch it. Those same people who say that shit, I think, watch. All those people still. If you like sports, you're watching the NBA Finals.
No, disagree. I disagree.
Really?
Yeah. And I think do I think that they'd be watching regardless of who is in? No, because I think it's just those people. The people who are trying to tell you hockey, you got to tune into the Golf Channel to watch fucking Islanders, fucking Blue Jackets or whatever. They're the ones that are like, it's the same people every year. So I don't think they're watching either way. But it's still something that has to be considered, right?
Yeah. But I'm saying if it's a Warriors Celtics, or even Warriors-Sixers, I think those are two sexy, appealing matchups for the Warriors.
Celtics are definitely the NBA is always going to push the Celtics out of the East.
Sure.
That's it. Like if they could have Celtics Lakers every year, they would.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, if they could have Knicks Lakers every year, they would. But the Knicks are a goddamn dumpster fire.
Yeah. Well,
they understand how populations work. Basically, is what I'm telling you.
Yeah. Well, the last matchup will be the Nuggets because they took care of business in an odd ending to Game 7 against the Spurs. So Nuggets, Trailblazers tonight.
An odd ending? What, none of the fucking Spurs knowing the deal? Even though Pop was on the court screaming at them?
What happened? How'd that happen?
Look, some people get born with high IQs, and some people get born 7 feet tall and freakishly athletic. You know, it's tough to be the full package.
Yeah.
You know?
No, I feel ya. Well, the NBA playoffs are here. Baseball is in full swing. Hockey. Prano, there are so many options for people to use SeatGeek to get tickets for sports events.
I was on it yesterday because I'm going to go down. You won't be back in time from your trip to Cincinnati, but I'm going to go down, just make the same drive we did, except I'm going to do it on a Wednesday morning.
Mets?
For a Mets-Padres day game.
Nice.
May 8th, Wednesday.
It's funny you say that. I am going to a Reds-Giants day game the day after my marathon. And the Mets are actually playing Cincinnati today, right?
Yeah.
Is that in Cincinnati or is that in Queens?
I don't know. I might be in Queens, but I think we have a 4-game set coming up.
Yeah, nice.
Really, be great if we could sweep your Reds.
Here's the thing with the Reds.
3 or 4 at least, hopefully. We need it.
The Reds are playing all like.
We need a terrible team to come into town.
But the Reds aren't. The Reds. People gonna call me a homer.
We're in the middle of a SeatGeek ad, and he's like losing it on the Reds.
They're not terrible though. They started 1-8. They're 11-16 now. So my point is that was an awful start. They're not terrible, but I am gonna go. You're right. Get back to the SeatGeek ad read. I'm gonna go DirtBalls. If you're in the Greater Cincinnati area, I believe that is it's like a 12:05 or 12:35 day game. That is Monday, May 6th. I will be using SeatGeek. And guys, if you're a listener of this show, best of all DirtBalls get $10 off their first SeatGeek purchase. SeatGeek supports our show, so we hope you support them as well. Use our promo code DIRTY for $10 off your first purchase. You can use that for concert tickets, sports, comedy, whatever you want. Remember, that's promo code DIRTY for $10 off your first purchase. Okay, I see you in YouTube. Thanks for all the comments. We're going to get to some of those. We are going to get to the NFL draft right now.
Before we get to the NFL draft, this is something we should probably do. Do you want to take a look at the comments? And maybe as we do the show like this, if somebody had a basketball comment before we move on to football, maybe we could answer it. But a lot of these times you guys don't have a whole lot of questions, if you will.
It's mostly comments.
Yeah, okay.
There were a couple of questions regarding the NFL draft, which was already on the rundown, which we will we'll talk about right now.
Great.
All right, so NFL draft was Thursday and
Friday and Saturday.
Yeah, that's right. The Cardinals, they did it. They got another.
You did it.
Another quarterback. Back-to-back years drafting a quarterback in the top 10. Obviously, Kyler Murray goes number 1, and Josh Rosen is traded to the Miami Dolphins.
Yeah, it's sad for me because that means there's gonna be a quarterback competition there. Luckily I hadn't made any bets yet, but I was gonna go heavy on the Dolphins over. I was going to go heavy on some sneaky Dolphins wins in Foxborough with my boy Fitzmagic.
Unbelievable. This guy loves Fitzy.
But actually, and Tug said something that I was Tug was mentioned again. Tug said something in a text message exchange that we have. I actually think this is a great pairing for Josh Rosen to get paired with Fitzpatrick.
You like it?
I mean, I just from, again, a brain standpoint.
Yeah.
To take the mental aspect of the game, helping Josh Rosen develop the mental aspect of playing quarterback, I think will be a nice fit with him and Fitzpatrick.
Well, let's talk.
I don't think Jameis Winston was picking Fitzpatrick's brain a lot. That's just what I'm saying.
You know, I would love to hear some of those conversations between Jameis and Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Yeah.
A guy who went to Harvard and a guy who went to Florida State who was accused of rape and then a week later
Also known as the Harvard of the Panhandle.
stood up on a table and yelled out, "Fuck her right in the pussy."
Yeah.
Jameis Winston, who I have deemed Black Bobby Boucher.
Yeah. And who I've deemed a bust.
He's on the spectrum for sure.
Yeah. He's one of the dumbest people to ever walk upright.
Jameis Winston?
Yeah. Remember he's eating his fingers? I mean, what are we talking about here?
Again, he's on the spectrum.
Yeah.
He should be the spokesperson for Spectrum. Like, he should do all the ads for Spectrum Mobile.
It's like eating a remote.
James like, you know, you get $45 all fucking unlimited. Like, they should just have him in a jersey. Unbelievable. Josh Rosen, though, took a lot of heat. I want to play the clip. We should listen to it. From Steve Smith just goes off. It's kind of confusing. Again, Tug was mentioned. Me, you, and Tug were texting each other. And I wrote, I don't really understand it.
Yeah.
Why he was so worked up.
Is this a clip that you ever hear?
Yeah.
Oh, is this a different clip than the one I saw?
It's a 2-minute clip.
Okay.
What did you see?
I saw. I'm trying to see. Maybe. Oh no.
It's got to be
Might-
the same
might be
one.
the same.
Let's throw on the old headphones. Let's play the clip. You guys probably saw this. If you didn't, you're gonna get to hear it now.
I'm almost with you. I'm like, not even sure this is worth playing, but we'll do it.
Why isn't it worth playing?
Because you said it doesn't really make any sense.
Why he was so worked up?
Is this a clip that you ever hear?
That's
Oh, this
us.
is
Okay, so he goes on the NFL Network, who he works for. Sorry, let me get this. And this is what Steve Smith. Is he Steve Smith or Steve Smith Jr.? I'm confused.
No, he's Steve Smith Sr.
Okay, I'm way off.
Yeah.
All right, this is what he says about Josh Rosen. Now, to put it in context, though, before I play the clip, this is before he's traded.
Right.
And this is regarding Josh Rosen unfollowing the Arizona Cardinals on Instagram.
Okay.
So that's what this is referencing. He's all worked up because he unfollowed the Cardinals on Instagram, and this is on, I believe, Friday before he's traded.
Team is drafted. We got 6 rounds in the next couple of days. Guys are getting replaced. You are replaceable. No one, they say in the league, the more you can do, it helps your opportunity. So now you're mad because they brought some competition in here, so you're going to try to take your ball? Well, first of all, son, it ain't your damn ball to take anyway. So you just keep playing with your phone, and you keep showing us what the stigma of you and who you were was in, at UCLA. Now you brought it to the professional level to show us you're still going to, when things don't go your way, you're going to cry in the corner. But guess what? They're going to ship your ass home somewhere else, and you can go cry and be their problem. Listen, This is a man's game. Be a man and go against that.
I mean, I think that's sufficient.
Yeah, that's enough. That's
man,
enough.
One-on-one. He gets 10
My
plays,
problem with
you get
Steve
10
Smith
plays, do your deal.
Yeah.
and this particular, I mean, I don't know what Steve Smith's problem with Josh Rosen is, but simply when the Arizona Cardinals drafted Kyler Murray, Josh Rosen knew he was getting traded.
Yeah.
Everybody knew he was getting traded. The whole time, everybody knew he was getting traded.
Sure.
So the idea that he unfollows the Cardinals on Instagram because he doesn't want to see 25 posts about their new quarterback
Sure, I agree.
is totally reasonable. I'm not a Josh Rosen as a person fan.
Me either.
He does seem like he's kind of a douche.
Yeah, I agree.
You know, everything that has been said about him is like, oh, he's like a rich kid and he's kind of a fucking wimp and whatever. I've said last year, like, I'm kind of a fan of Josh Rosen, the quarterback, like kind of, because
See, I'm not.
But I don't know what you're judging him on is the thing. Like, I'm actually judging him on, you're judging him on what he's accomplished. Meanwhile, I'm judging him on how he's been able to handle playing in a dog shit situation, not just in the NFL, but also in college. Like, he stood out at UCLA, UCLA hasn't been good since fucking Troy Aikman was there.
Well, that's not true. First of all,
Okay.
they're competitive, usually in the top 25.
When?
They have been.
When's the last time they finished in the top 25?
I guarantee they've done it a lot in the last 10 years. You want me to look it up?
Yeah. I don't remember. The way Oregon and Stanford and all those Pac-12 teams have been playing, I don't know how UCLA is getting enough wins to be a fucking top 25 team every year.
Well, they were terrible last year in Chip Kelly's first year, but they've had some good seasons. I mean, I'm going to pull it up right now.
When's the last time UCLA played in a major bowl game? A major bowl game. Of any ilk.
Okay, here's UCLA's. Let's go back. We'll start in 2009. 2009 up to last year.
10 years, a decade.
Just going to read their records. 7-6, 4-8, 6-8, 9-5, 10-3, 10-3, 8-5, 4-8, 6-7, 3-9. Okay, so they haven't been that good.
They've had 10-3. They had back-to-back 10-3 seasons in a decade.
Correct.
They've been bad. They've been bad.
Yeah, they haven't been that good. I was wrong. And they went 3-9 last year. So they haven't been that good.
Yeah.
Basically, since 2009, they've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They've split. They've had 5 winning seasons, 5 losing seasons.
Now, my thing about quarterbacks, and we'll get into this more when we start talking about the Giants draft pick that they've been getting lit on fire for. I don't mind a quarterback that wasn't on a dominant team in college, because I think that they're built a little bit to handle the adversity better in the NFL. Like Josh Rosen playing on a dog shit UCLA team against, good schools, good teams that are like, churning out pros. I think that's good for his development, and I thought that he looked as good as you could look as a rookie playing for the Arizona Cardinals last year.
Well, they had a terrible team. They had the worst offensive line.
Jets fans are sucking each other's dicks. I know they got Le'Veon Bell, and I know they got fucking whatever, and I know they had a couple good draft picks. I'm like, if I had to spread money around on a roulette table, I'm putting more money on Josh Rosen than I am on Sam Darnold.
I think they're both going to be busts. I was dropping some hot takes.
I mean, Sam Darnold didn't look good last year.
Well, look, this is what
Josh Rosen at least had like moments of looking good on a terrible team, the worst offensive line in football, 0 weapons.
This to me is the problem with all this stuff going on is what I was saying in text message is that, to me, last year's draft class was overhyped. I said that all along. I thought last year's draft class was overhyped. I think this year's draft class has been underhyped. This is I don't know if I'm putting my stink on these quarterbacks this year.
Please don't put too much of your stink on the Giants draft pick.
I think this year's quarterbacks are going to surprise somebody. I want to bring up something that you and I have talked about on this show in the past, and I think it's relevant to last year's class and also this year's class. Guys, how many quarterbacks from major programs that were drafted high have done well?
That's been my theory forever.
But I want to look at today's current top 7 or 8 quarterbacks in the NFL. Let's look at them. You have Tom Brady. Sure, he went to Michigan. He didn't even start that much. He was drafted in the 7th round. So
basically started a season, split a second season.
So it falls into my point of like somebody who didn't put up gaudy numbers in college.
Of course.
So Tom Brady, Patrick Mahomes went to Texas fucking Tech. Not a big football school.
I mean, it's a big football school, but it's certainly not a powerhouse.
It's not a powerhouse. That's my point.
And I actually think part of my long-standing theory is guys who went to schools in big conferences that are kind of the doormats of those conferences, because now they're playing great competition and
their team sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the Eli Manning, Ole Miss, Peyton Manning, like I know Peyton Manning made Tennessee great, but they didn't win until after Peyton Manning left.
Well, okay, so we're at Patrick Mahomes. Texas Tech. Aaron Rodgers, Cal. When's the last time Cal did anything of significance? Ben Roethlisberger, Miami, Ohio.
Carson Wentz, North Dakota State.
Exactly.
Wisconsin and Russ.
NC State.
NC State with Phillip Rivers.
And, which Russ also went.
Yeah.
So here we are. We've already listed 7 quarterbacks. Not one of these guys went to, let's bring up, you just brought him up, Sam Darnold. USC.
Said that, the USC quarterback and the Miami quarterback and the Florida quarterbacks forever, busts.
Yeah.
Where's Leinart? Who's the dude who came out he came out late. He should have come out earlier. He was going to be the first.
Matt Barkley.
Barkley was going to be like the fucking first overall pick.
Yeah.
Next year, bust. Every quarterback in the history of Miami.
Bust.
Like, again, I'm sort of teasing it, but everybody who was on the Giants for fucking passing on Dwayne Haskins.
But we agree. We agree.
Who's the last great Ohio State quarterback? Johnny Utah?
No, I looked it up. See, this is where we agree. And
without the knee injury, maybe Utah.
I want to bring up the Giants. And I can't believe we agree on this. But I thought long and hard about it. And this is the same exact mentality I have. Guys, everyone is so hard on the Giants for drafting Daniel Jones. And with, Duke and his numbers, and they sucked. First of all, Duke, I couldn't even name their football stadium. Like, Duke is basketball. So everyone is saying, why didn't they draft Haskins? Guys, the last good Ohio State quarterback, you can't fucking name one. I Googled it. I'm like, who's the last guy from Ohio State? You know what they do when they get to the NFL? They become wide receivers. They're Terrell Pryor.
But, like, literally, who's
Braxton
the last
Miller.
One?
There literally isn't one.
Yeah.
I'm not even exaggerating. There's not a quarterback from Ohio State that's been productive in the NFL. And another step further, Urban Meyer. Why was I forgetting his name? Urban Meyer, he's coached Utah, he's coached Florida, and now he's coached Ohio State. The best quarterback he's ever put out is Alex Smith, who's been average in the NFL.
Above average, but
Above average.
But yeah.
But my point is this. Of all those 3 programs, let's say 15 years.
But because the game in college isn't about the quarterback.
System.
And it's all about the quarterback in the NFL.
Exactly.
Now, let's just, since we're doing it, let's go to the Giants.
Let's do it.
The Giants draft Daniel Jones. Now, everybody is hammering them.
I don't hate it at all.
I'll say this. The initial reaction is, if you want Daniel Jones, why at 6? When you have the 17th pick. So why at 6 do you take Daniel Jones instead of Josh Allen, and then not just stick around for Daniel Jones at 17, right? And the answer to that is the answer that I got from everybody last year when I said take Saquon at 1 and Baker Mayfield at 4. And everybody said, "Oh, Todd Bowles loves Baker." They would definitely have taken Baker. Baker wasn't making it back to them at 4. If that's your reasoning, then the idea that Daniel Jones doesn't make it to them at 17 is reasonable. First of all, the Redskins had a pick and took Haskins.
Sure.
Now, here's my biggest problem. Look, do I think that they could have found a way to take somebody else at 6 and still got Daniel Jones if they worked for it? Yes, I do. That's my big problem with the pick. But I know for a fact, I haven't on much information, they liked Daniel Jones way more than Haskins.
Sure.
They liked him way more.
I mean, they've been open about it. Gettleman's been open about the Senior Bowl watching Daniel Jones.
But if the Giants take Haskins at 6, and they take the guy, they still take Dexter Lawrence at 17, no one's making fun of them. And to me, that's ridiculous. Because they like him more.
Yeah.
After doing all the fucking work on it,
Sure.
I now like him more than Haskins. I was never a buyer. I was like, fine, if Haskins is a guy, fine. He's from Jersey. He wants to back up Eli, fine. But when you do the work on it, it's like, he's playing on a stacked offense.
Well, that's the thing I want to bring up. I watched a lot of Ohio State games this year. I've watched a lot of Haskins' career. Guys, this goes back to our point that we just made about big college programs. He's playing for Ohio State. They're a top 10 recruiting class, probably top 5 every single year.
Do you remember when Tug and I were talking quarterbacks, and he you and I have done the quarterback thing forever, and then Tug was like, all right, what's the first thing that you're looking at for a quarterback? Do you remember my answer?
You didn't say Wonderlic, did you?
I didn't say Wonderlic, but I said their brain.
Yeah.
Like, I want to know that they can, like, handle it. Like, that to me is more important. If you look at the Wonderlic, which you sent me the scores of, one guy took it twice, so he's out. Like, he scored like a 25 on the first one, then he took it again. So,
Yeah.
like, you're already out of the fucking thing. And the second guy was Minshew or whatever from Washington State.
Yeah.
Uncle Rico looking dude. Creepy, weird pedo mustache.
Yeah.
And the headband. You're out. Third on the list, Daniel Jones.
Second to last, Dwayne Haskins.
Second to last, Dwayne Haskins. Last, Kyler Murray. Now,
I don't judge everything by the Wonderlic.
I don't judge everything by it. But I'm saying, if a guy didn't have any arms and he got the highest score on the Wonderlic, I'm not taking him first overall. I'm saying it's a big factor for me, though, their brain. Here's the thing that finally made me just sit back and relax and go, all right. Do I think Dave Gettleman's a fucking idiot? Yeah, I kind of do. Do I love the recent inner workings of the New York Giants organization? No, I don't. But apparently, the nail in the coffin on the Daniel Jones pick was Peyton Manning. Peyton Manning loves Daniel Jones.
And he worked with his camp.
I don't know if Dave Gettleman knows football at this point. Trading Odell Beckham Jr. will be a black eye on that guy's resume, in my opinion, forever. Same goes for the New York Giants front office. You have Odell Beckham and you're trading him. I'm not sure you guys know what you're doing. That's fine.
Yeah.
If Peyton Manning's judging quarterbacks, I believe him. I'm a Peyton Manning believer. I believe Peyton Manning knows what a good quarterback looks like. Plain and simple. I believe Peyton Manning knows exactly what a good quarterback looks like.
And the thing is, none of us know. This is what annoys me with everyone. Like, oh my God, they draft. Like, none of us know. Dwayne Haskins could be great. He could be a bust. Daniel Jones could be great. Could be a bust. None of us fucking know, guys. Like, you know what I'm saying? The NFL to me is such a crapshoot when you draft players.
I think the big problem, with people is like everybody wants to shit on the pick. I'm not sure I approve of like how they use their 2 or 3 first round picks. Obviously they traded up to get back into the first round again. But like, is there a move that they could have made instead of trading up to get that final third round pick, that third first round pick? Is there a way to trade up from 17 to 12 and take Jones there, and then you get Allen and Jones? Maybe, but like, look, I don't know what's going on in the war room.
Yeah.
All I know is they got the quarterback that they wanted, and the quarterback that, again, like, I don't watch college football. I certainly don't watch Duke football. But brains, school where he's playing against great competition, even though his team is getting fucking lawnmowered, and Peyton Manning likes him. I'm kind of in. The only thing that makes me want to kill myself is that Dave Brown also went to Duke and also wore number 17, and he's the worst quarterback in the history of the New York Football Giants. So, otherwise, I've kind of convinced myself, not that I like the pick, but that I like the player.
And again, we don't know, but I wasn't mad at all when I saw that. Like, again, people are just freaking the fuck out.
Well, I think, and it's funny because as a Giants fan, I totally understand, like, people wanting the fucking Philadelphia Eagles to burn or the Patriots burn. Like, Giants have there's a lot of Giants hate out there. I've never really gotten it. Like, what? Maybe it's the bet. Like, but I feel like people hate Eli, first of all, which is remarkable to me. And then just like
I don't think people hate Eli. I think they just like making fun of him. I think there's a big difference.
Okay.
They like making fun of his face and his facial expressions. I don't think they hate him. He's not I don't think Eli's a polarizing player. It's just jokes. He's not like a Cam Newton. Like I think a lot of people hate Cam Newton.
But I feel like even in like the sports, like even in the talking heads business, like Eli's so quick to be thrown under the bus by people. And maybe that's just a lack of knowledge. But like you look at like guys, like there's for every 5 guys who are just like, well, they got to get a quarterback. There's always like one guy out of every 5 who's like, this isn't Eli's fault at all. Like there's always the Deion Sanders type who's like, Eli's fucking fine. The Giants just suck.
Yeah.
And that's why I also like the Eli mentoring a young quarterback. I love it as a Giants fan. And if this guy is going to be able to take the mental aspect of the game from Eli, fantastic. I'm into it. Do I wish we had gotten maybe a stronger player in the first round otherwise? Yeah. But if you get your franchise quarterback, it doesn't really make a difference.
Yeah, and again, I just want to reiterate that the college numbers, for me, especially from a big program, don't matter that much.
Yeah.
They really don't.
And the other thing with the Giants for me is like a lot of people are like kind of pointing out again, like you said, last year's draft class. Like, oh, they wanted Saquon and Daniel Jones instead of like Sam Darnold and Josh Allen. Yeah, I do. 100%.
Well, exactly.
100%.
Let's look at last year's draft class.
Don't want Sam Darnold.
Out of last
Didn't want him.
Don't
want him.
Out of last year's draft class concerning quarterbacks,
Yeah.
the only one in my opinion.
And if they wanted Rosen, they could have had him. If they wanted Rosen over Jones, they could have had him.
Yeah.
They could have taken Josh Allen. They could have traded. Josh Rosen got traded for what? A 4th rounder?
Like a 2nd rounder?
Yeah. So they could have had Josh Rosen.
Out of last year's draft class, and I know it's only 1 year, I think the only one who has potential is probably Baker Mayfield, and he's got a cast around him right now to help. I was not sold on a lot of those guys.
I mean, Josh Allen's looked, he's in Buffalo. I don't hate Josh Allen. If I had to rank him right now, I'd go Baker, Rosen, Allen, Darnold. I really don't like Darnold. I just think he's a turnover machine.
Turnover machine for sure.
And he's a prime example of what we're talking about. Big school, dominating fucking offensive line, never touched. And then when he was touched, he's fucking fumbling.
Yeah. 600,000 people attended the draft. 600,000.
Nashville was dope. That was dope. It looked awesome.
Is it Broadway, the main street?
I have no idea. I've never been.
Yeah. Basically what they did was I think that's their main street, which is Broadway, which is just nonstop bars and restaurants. It's pretty awesome. They just took over that entire street.
Yeah. Looked great. Honestly, way better than when they do like New York or Chicago or Philly.
Yeah.
Because you have like a small kind of town where you can just take over you're not closing down Times Square for the NFL draft.
No.
New York's like, we don't give a fuck. We got business.
Yeah.
Like, get the fuck out of the way.
Yeah, we got stuff going on.
People in fucking Philadelphia Eagles jerseys getting run over by yellow cabs. Get out of the way. Darryl Dawkins, whatever your name is, get out of the way. I have Uber pickup. I also do Postmates. Please move.
Yeah, it looks pretty awesome.
Yeah.
That whole street just filled. Like more than doubled the record attendance. And then next year's in Las Vegas, which I don't like as much again. Like,
I don't know. I mean, Vegas could be cool.
yeah, like where are they doing it?
I don't know, like the fucking pool outside the MGM or something like that. Everybody gets announced in the pool.
I heard they're doing it on the 19th floor at the Mandalay Bay.
Is that a shooter joke?
Yeah, I don't even know what floor it was. It was an attempt. Failed attempt. You know, sometimes you
I was like, is that where the real world
sometimes
speed is? Or is
sometimes
that where
you shoot your shot, Joe.
Yeah. Shots fired. Hundreds of them, actually. I'd say too soon, but the guy, I mean, I'm not. Let's not go to the conspiracy.
Oh, you
let's
wanna
not
go-
let's not conspiracy wormhole it.
Yeah. Well, Tyreek Hill is currently suspended indefinitely, whatever that means. The Chiefs have suspended him because this was after our last episode. The
Yep.
audio leaked
Yep.
of him threatening his fiancée.
Yep.
So he's suspended indefinitely. I read
But they're not going to cut him because if they cut him, somebody else is immediately going to sign him. So now they go with the indefinite suspension. This is wild. It's wild how the NFL teams are going to have to work around this weird rule.
I don't think anyone's picking him up. I really don't.
Oh, I think you're 100% wrong.
Really.
Yeah,
No one's picking him up this year.
I think you're wrong. First of all, he hasn't been cut.
Well, he's going to be put on the exempt list. This is the latest, most likely. So they don't normally do this. So I read this today. The exemption list usually works as a player is suspended with pay, but because players aren't paid in the offseason, that wouldn't apply in this case.
Okay.
So they're saying the league, this isn't the Chiefs thing, the league could put him on the exempt list
Right.
and also not pay him, which means he's just in this weird purgatory. I don't think anybody's picking him up.
Well, he's not cut. So he's not getting picked up until he's available to get picked up. The second he's available, he will get picked up.
You think so?
Yeah.
I mean,
Because just like I said in my tweet, unless part of that 11-minute audio is him disrespecting the troops, he's getting picked up immediately.
It's just wild to me that the Chiefs haven't cut him already. You listen to the audio, right?
Yeah. Is it wild? If you're the Chiefs,
Well, you saw who they drafted, right?
Yeah.
They drafted a wide receiver.
Yeah. They still have Patrick Mahomes. They're gonna need some wide receivers.
Sure.
Is it wild that they don't want John Dorsey and the Cleveland Browns to pick him up and immediately be sure thing Super Bowl favorites? Is that wild?
The Browns are not picking him up. I mean, they already have two wide receivers, two great wide receivers. And they have some other good guys around those guys.
Yeah, like the Chiefs running back that they picked up after he got cut for fucking kicking a girl in the face. My thing is, if you're the Chiefs, do you want him?
We should make a bet. Not a bet. The over-under of Tyreek Hill, at what week is he playing on a team in the NFL? Whether it's the Chiefs or somebody else. There's 17 weeks in the
I think he's playing on the Chiefs in
week 8?
No, I think he's playing on the Chiefs in week 13.
Week 13. Yeah, that's a bet I would make because I could see that maybe.
Yeah. And if he's
But he also has a past. Let's not forget Tyreek Hill, you know his past, right?
Yeah, of course.
I mean, he's been guilty of a felony.
Yeah.
Which I believe was some other violent act. So this guy has a storied history.
If I'm the Chiefs, I don't cut him either. If I'm a Chiefs fan,
So then what are they doing? This move of suspending him indefinitely. I don't even know what that
and
means.
then they'll suspend him indefinitely, and then at some point they'll come up with what he's actually suspended for. So midway through the preseason, they'll be like he's suspended for 9 weeks.
Okay.
And then I'll come back. Because why cut him? Because you don't want to pay him? When he's suspended without pay, you're not paying him. You don't have to give him a roster spot.
Yeah.
But why are you going to give him up so that he can go to some other team? You want to be on the Rams in week 13 or you want to be on the Chiefs? If you're the Chiefs, you want to be on the Patriots in week 13? When he comes back, he's coming back. So why cut him? If I'm a Chiefs fan, I'm angry, and I'm probably tweeting that he's a piece of shit and that we should cut him. But also in my heart, I'm going why? So we could lose to the fucking Chargers when they get him?
I just don't know if anybody picks him up this year.
I feel like you have not been paying attention to the NFL whatsoever.
Kareem Hunt didn't get picked up after he got cut. I mean, granted, it was only 4 or 5 weeks.
Yeah. Yeah, he was out the rest of the season, then he got picked up in the offseason.
I'm just trying to understand the mindset of
the mindset is
the mindset. Do people view child abuse worse than domestic abuse? Like, where do those rank as far as people being offended?
I think you're both pretty far down to the bad side of the evil scale.
But that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
that's my point.
It's not.
They're both really bad things.
It's not a matter of whether it's bad. It's a matter of how long until the public stops giving a fuck. Because remember.
But that's why I'm bringing it up. Like, I'm trying to get in the mindset of the public.
Oh, it's just out of sight, out of mind. 6 months from now, no one gives a shit. Unless you disrespect the troops, 6 months from now, no one will even remember. They'll be like, "Is that the guy who kicked somebody in the head?" And they're like, "No, that was Kareem Hunt." Oh, what did Tyreek Hill do? He was on to abuse a kid. I thought that was Adrian Peterson. No, that was his actual kid, and he was not abusing him. He was trying to parent him, but he was doing it with abuse. This was just abuse. He was abused. Yeah, it's the same thing.
Yeah.
Unless you are unpatriotic, 6 months from now, no one gives a fuck.
Yeah.
The end.
Gotcha. Well, change of subject. Dabo Swinney last week signed the biggest deal in college football. 10 years, $93 million.
Good for Dabo Swinney? I don't know. I don't like.
I'm bringing this up because I got to bring up his old quote, man.
I don't know all the ins and outs of how the financials. I know one thing: the schools are making a bunch of money, and the NCAA is making a bunch of money.
But that's why I want to bring up this
quote. A bunch of money, and so if this is a good value for them, great.
No, I don't. You can pay him whatever. I'm not mad or offended that you look.
Okay, so what's his old quote?
Welcome to capitalism. But this is his old quote he's under fire for, and I agree, it's bullshit. A few years ago when Northwestern tried to unionize, I don't know if you remember this, football players, Dabo had a quote, which he still has not backed off from. He said, and I quote, "We try to teach our guys, use football to create the opportunities, take advantage of the platform and the brand and marketing you have available to you. But as far as paying players, professionalizing college athletics, that's where you lose me. I'd go do something else because there's enough entitlement in this world as it is." What? I don't even understand what that means.
But
he's saying he would leave coaching if players were ever paid, but he can make $90 million, and he's saying there's enough entitlement in this world.
I mean, you do this to me all the time, and I don't know what the NCAA is a fucking sham. Let every athlete go be a professional. Let them earn money while they work there. Otherwise, we just get caught in the same loophole. I don't care if he got $1 billion to coach. I still don't think the players should get paid money to play football.
But that's basically what you're saying, if they can go play professionally.
Yeah, let them go play professional football. Have no rules against them going to play professional immediately.
But what is the difference between them playing in, let's say, a minor league equivalent and them getting a stipend to play at University of Alabama?
Because now we are taking what is now we are, instead of having a sham, which it is now, we're saying this is absolutely has nothing to do with a university or any sort of education. So why are they tied together?
But universities have club sports.
Okay.
Right?
Sure.
Why can't we just make these club sports?
I don't understand your question. The club sport, right? First of all, a lot of times you're paying to play a club sport.
Yeah, okay.
Right? Not making money to play a club sport. This, again, once you're paying professional athletes to come to a place to be a professional athlete there, we're abandoning the entire idea that this has anything to do with schooling. which is fine. Have the Alabama Crimson Tide, not the University of Alabama Crimson Tide. Have the Alabama Crimson Tide. People in Alabama are dumb as fuck and will go watch it. If you separated that team from the school, no one would give a shit. Most of the people didn't go to Alabama anyway.
No, I get that, but I'm trying to go back to his quote. I'm just trying to understand his mindset of, like, I'd walk away from college football.
Well, first of all, his name's Dabo.
But
he's confused.
Well, exactly, but that's my
But
point.
also, I agree with him in the sense that he should get paid because this is his job. He should get paid to coach football.
I'm not saying
they're getting paid to play football.
I'm not saying he shouldn't get paid. Of course he should get paid. He's the head coach. He turned the program around. I'm not debating what Clemson or Bama or Ohio State, any of these programs want to pay their coaches. Again, it's a free market. It's capitalistic society. Pay the guy what you want.
Okay, how about this? Let me throw.
But for him being
hold on. Let me throw a made up scenario out to you. Okay, how about this? How about guys can't get paid while they're at school because you don't want to set a precedent inside this university or college experience where some of your students are getting paid to attend the school while others are paying to attend the school. But if you put in your service time, okay, of playing 4 years of college football at Clemson, after you get out into the real world, they give you a check. They give you a check for $250,000. Seems fair, right? By the way, that is what's happening. Because you leave without the $250,000 fucking bill that every other student pays to go to school. It's so fucking stupid that we're still pretending that school doesn't cost anything. These guys want to be professional athletes. Good. Don't force them to go to college. Take the education system out of football. It has nothing to do with it. They are not related. You as a student at Clemson and the guy Dabo coaches at Clemson are not the same person. One is a student, one is an athlete. The student-athlete thing is for volleyball and hockey and gymnastics and shit no one gives a fuck about. Football players are professional athletes. Go let them be professionals. It's so fucking dumb that we're now going to say, because this is the way it works, dude. Then who doesn't get paid? Does the hockey team at Clemson get paid? Do the gymnasts get paid?
Well, it'd be tiered like capitalism, you know, supply and demand. People earn the money. It's no different than how it is now, you know.
So let me ask you a question. I went to Lehigh. Lehigh, huge engineering school.
Okay.
Bethlehem Steel, biggest fucking steel in the country. That's like what the whole fucking town was based around. So if I go to Lehigh and I'm an engineer and then I go out into the world as an engineer and I make a fucking bunch of money for Ford or fucking whoever, and then that in turn gets kicked back to the school. Oh, well, we're supporting this program. Now should I get paid to be an engineer at Lehigh?
Yeah, but the difference is you could get paid to get a job. If you're an engineer at Lehigh, you could get a summer internship.
I've already said that a million times. Let them have jobs. They want to work and play football? Let them do it. 100%. Also, let them sign autographs. Fine. Now, there's got to be a system in place where it's not just, hey, you're signing an autograph and some booster's giving you $100,000 in a fucking backpack. Let them sell fucking jerseys. Let them sell pictures of themselves. Let them do Instagram ads.
So in a way, we agree on a lot of these things.
Yes. If Kyler Murray wants to do Instagram ads for coconut water while he's at Oklahoma, great.
Sure.
Because why not fucking Aunt Becky's daughter's at fucking USC doing Instagram ads?
Yeah.
Great.
Aunt Becky's daughter. Yeah.
But the idea that they should get a paycheck for playing football is ludicrous to me. Because you are getting a paycheck.
So you're
getting a paycheck.
You're for basically
they're giving you they're giving you a bill, and then they're saying we got it.
But you're open. Clearly, you're open to monetization.
They can monetize as people.
That's what I'm saying.
Sure. I just don't feel that college athletes should get paid simply for playing their sport, because I believe
What
that
if
if you
a
want to
boo-
become a professional athlete, you should have that right
What
to
if
do
a
it.
booster wants to give you money?
Now he's paying you to play football. He's paying you to attend the school. That's what he's paying you for.
I'm just saying it's the Instagram,
Yeah,
the booster. It's a
that's why
slippery
my
slope.
idea is take the NCAA and light it on fire. It's all a fucking sham. What a bullshit thing. Stop making kids go to school. Have a minor league system. Stop fucking. This has nothing to do with education. None of these people are going to school. Why are we still doing this?
You know what Dabo should do with that $93 million, Joe Prano?
And the reason we are doing it, Andy, do you know why we are still doing it?
Why?
Because people in those states, the people that are angry at us whenever we talk about California, they don't have the Lakers, the Clippers, the Rams, the Kings, whatever. They have University of Kansas basketball and flatness. That's what they have, and this is their NBA, and they should be able to fucking do whatever they want. That's why. Because the major college football, basketball parts of the world are in fucking dumpster fire parts of the country where no one gives a shit about anything except for college sports. Even though none of them fucking attended that school.
You know what Dabo should do with that money? Get him some Harry's razors. How many Harry's razors could he buy for $93 million?
I mean, he could get the free trial set and not even spend any of his $93 million.
Yeah. It's pretty amazing, the deal. I just shaved yesterday. I had a nice shave. Shaved the face, and I'll just be honest, and the balls. I know Harry's loves when I include that in the ad read. Groomed the old testicles. Cut myself.
Yeah, who's doing that with just a regular razor?
You know, normally I do it a couple shaves in because the blades they're so good. Guys, here. Joe's giving me this look like, wow, you're really going for it, aren't you? Guys, join the 10 million people who've tried Harry's. Claim your trial set right now by going to harrys.com/dirty. Like Joe mentioned, that is a $13 value trial set that comes with everything you need for a close, comfortable shave, that weighted ergonomic handle, 5-blade razor with a lubricating strip and trimmer blade, that rich lathering shave gel, which I love. I only use my Harry's shave gel, and that travel blade cover. Listeners of our show can redeem their trial set at harrys.com/dirty. Make sure you go to harrys.com/dirty to redeem your offer and let them know I sent you to help support the show. And once again, if you send me a screenshot of using harrys.com/dirty, I will send you some koozies. Okay, we have a couple calls. Do you want to get to a couple calls today? And we'll wrap this bad boy up. It's been a minute, so you know what I'm going to do today? I am going to actually play the intro. Dirtballs, dirtball calls.
Yeah.
Dirtballs, dirtball calls. Dirtballs, dirtball calls. We got the dirtballs, dirtball calls. Okay. Our first call today is from Kyle Aronofsky. Guys, real quick reminder, let's keep the calls to 60 seconds and under, por favor. Please do that. You guys like to ramble, and you know what? We're on time constraints.
What's going on, boys? Kyle Aronofsky calling back once again from the beautiful and very expensive to drive on Garden State Parkway in probably Manahawkin, New Jersey, home of fucking nothing. Reason I'm calling today.
See, we're at 16
is,
seconds.
Just to let you guys know, I know you guys don't talk hockey on here, but that the NHL playoffs have been absolutely amazing. Just crazy, unexpected shit. 3 Game 7s in the first round. The most favorited team to win the championship, the Tampa Bay Lightning, lost in the first round. Not only did they lose in the first round, they were swept in the first round by the Columbus Blue Jackets from Ruther's home state of the god-awful Ohio. That didn't really make much sense.
Jersey taking shots.
So I was just wondering, like, are there any playoff series or playoff years that you guys really remember? Because this year I've really been able to watch pretty much every game and just fucking drink a ton of beer and enjoy some tremendous playoff hockey. Maybe I think Ruther's talked about like the early years of him being in LA and like the Lakers going on runs and those being memorable. Yeah, so I was just wondering if you guys remember, and it can be any sport, maybe like some great baseball playoffs and some obscure rounds that maybe neither team ended up going to the final.
All right, we get what he wants.
Okay. I remember. Well, first of all, I thought he was talking about hockey as a New York guy. The '94 Rangers, that was a huge deal in New York, and it was a huge deal because simultaneously the Knicks were very good.
Oh yes, that's right.
And obviously end up losing in the finals to the Rockets. It's Rangers, Knicks, OJ. It's the summer of OJ.
The juice.
So I remember that. Also, I feel like basketball for me, just like all those years in the 90s, I know we joke about like, 90s basketball was so much better. I actually obviously have made it very clear I disagree that the basketball was better, but there was like the storylines. It was always like Jordan, Knicks, and then you'd have Knicks, Pacers, and then even going on to like Knicks, Heat, like in the late 90s, early 2000s. For me as a basketball fan, my favorite playoff memories are when the New York Knicks were good at basketball. This is basically what I'm saying. The 90s to the early 2000s when the Knicks were competing like every fucking round of the playoffs, especially those Heat series. So good. Then when you were talking about being out here, the Lakers being good, I remember that the Mavs run was a pretty magical playoff year.
Yeah.
That Mavs run was amazing. Mavs beating the Lakers, then the Mavs going to the Western Conference Finals, then the Mavs beating the Heat in the finals was pretty amazing.
The Red Sox run, obviously, when they were down 3-0 to the Yankees.
Yeah.
But that whole playoff run for them, I was hate watching. I never wanted them to win.
Yeah.
I never wanted them to win. And I didn't know many people from Boston. What's funny is we had one kid in my fraternity from Boston, and he was so fucking obnoxious.
Yeah.
It was literally all because of that kid. Fucking Sox. Fucking Sox.
I was always rooting for them because they were playing the Yankees, and I fucking hated the Yankees. But like it was always Alien versus Predator. I was like, whoever wins, we lose.
And also that Yankees Diamondbacks World Series, man.
Sure. That was 2001. That was right after 9/11.
9/11.
Yeah, all that.
That was an amazing, fun series to watch. I'm trying to think, like basketball, because I didn't have a team, so I like didn't have. You remember the runs, but like growing up to me, it was like the Bulls are gonna win. You know what I'm saying? You knew the Bulls were gonna win.
And I get that he's talking about how great hockey is, dude. This NBA playoffs this year has a
potential.
I mean, the Blazers. I'm already stoked for the Blazers Nuggets.
Yeah. Well, people are apparently getting real stoked about my takes. We have a call applauding my amazing hot takes from our boy Kookmeyer.
Kookmeyer. Haven't heard from him in a while.
Yo, what up, boys? It's Captain Kook calling back again. Just wanted to say I love the Andy Ruther hot takes, spitting fire. About an hour and 17 minutes into the podcast, there's no way in hell that the Warriors are going to lose to the Clippers. There's 8 minutes left in the third quarter. Even though they're down, they're going to come back. Yeah, pretty sure it was 121 to 129. Warriors lost that one last night. So keep it coming, Ruther. We love it. Stay dirty.
I mean, the Ruther curse is undefeated at this point, but I just want to say that I feel devastated that you like Daniel Jones so much.
Well, it's not that I like him so much. I just think that people were so quick to eviscerate the Giants for that pick when, again, I felt last year's draft class was overrated. And at the end of the day, you can say what you want about
Just do me a favor. Just say the Mets absolutely won't win the NL East. They're not winning it.
I think I picked them.
I hate you.
Remember the show? I think I picked them. Dude, I tell you what, the Reds, are they going to win a game that I go to this year?
No, probably not.
I mean, if they lose the next game I go to, and if they lose 3 games in 3 different cities where I've been to games, I'm gonna have to keep going to games in different cities
You're gonna
until
have to
they
start.
win.
You're gonna have to start talking to like a professional, like, fucking psychic or something, or like a witch doctor about what's going on with the dent curse. We're gonna have to start doing a 30 for 30 on the dent curse.
I mean, my powers are the equivalent of the red-haired chick from Game of Thrones.
Yeah,
What's her name?
Melisandre. Whoa! Oh, I almost spoiled her. I almost said a spoiler.
She looks great naked, by the way. Not old woman. Young woman.
Yeah.
Big ass titties. Okay, the last call, I'm going to need a translator. So if I could get Yoshi on the phone, because this is a call I believe Yoshi's relative left us.
重要通知书尚未领取，请携带相关证件过来办理。如需人工查询，请按6，将由侨务组为你服务。中国驻洛杉矶领事馆
Somebody
提
get
醒
shot?
您，您有一则重要通知书尚未领取，请携带相关证件过来办理。如需人工查询，请按6，将由侨务组为你服务。
I gotta say, I agree. And I think that they absolutely should get rid of the 5-year after retirement rule and put Ichiro in immediately. I agree.
Yeah.
I agree wholeheartedly.
So shout out to our Japanese
I think
dirtballs.
was that Japanese? I feel like that might have been Chinese.
You think that was Chinese? I think that's Japanese.
Okay.
Do we have anybody who knows Mandarin or Japanese?
I guess we'll find out on the next episode of the Dirty Sports Podcast. Same dirty channel, same dirty time.
The hotline is 310-359-8365. And I think we've come to a conclusion on a date for Amarillo. I believe we're going to do Saturday. What is that day? Is it August 17th or 18th?
I thought you said that.
17th.
Okay. And we're talking about the Saturday the 17th, and then we're going to try to plan out some maybe other Texas ballparks surrounding that.
The plan would be fly probably into Amarillo Friday, stay in Amarillo Friday night, do the game, the whole DirtBall stuff Saturday.
Which I'm putting together a fantastic little plan. In addition to obviously what Nick Yardley from the Sod Poodles is helping us coordinate. I'm trying to swing something. Maybe we get a little
Tailgate action.
Maybe a little live podcast action.
I like it. So that would be Saturday, and then Sunday we drive, and then Monday we attend a Texas Rangers home game, and then Tuesday we attend a Houston Astros home game.
Wow.
So we're driving across the state of Texas.
Checking off ballparks.
We're doing it.
Everything's bigger in Texas.
And I believe that Monday night Ranger game is either the Ranger game or the Astros game is dollar hot dog night.
Fuck yeah.
So we're going to crush them hot dogs. So that is the plan, Dirtballs. We have a group chat on Twitter if you're interested, because we're going to figure out the pricing, because we're going to rent a suite. All those shenanigans will happen the weekend of Friday the 16th, 17th, and 18th. Again, hopefully the game the 17th. Okay, you can follow us at The Dirty Sports on Instagram and Twitter. Subscribe to us on YouTube. You can follow me at Andy Ruther. If you are a Cincinnati Dirtball, I would love to see you at the marathon Cinco de Mayo, May 5th. I'd love to see you guys yelling at me, cheering me on, whatever it is, and get you some conies for me waiting at the finish line.
Yeah. Joe Prano on Instagram. I decided something recently, Andy. I'm gonna announce it right now. Remember when I did my Kristaps Porzingis jersey giveaway?
Yeah.
I'm doing another one. Now that he's been traded to the Cleveland Browns, my final Giants jersey. I gave away many Giants memorabilia when I was boycotting the no kneeling policy last year. They removed the no kneeling policy. I had a Beckham jersey. Been traded. It hurts me to look at it. If you want my Odell Beckham Jr. jersey. Follow me on Instagram at Joe Prano. 2 weeks from today on this very show, I will do my random drawing of an Instagram follower again, and the first DirtBall whose name comes up will get an Odell Beckham jersey with free shipping sent to you wherever you are in the continental United States or Canada. And if you're somewhere other than that, we'll talk about how shipping will work then. Follow me on Instagram at Joe Prano. Follow me on Twitter at FixYourLife. Go to joeprano.com for shows. I'm traveling again soon.
And you might as well follow me. If you're going to follow Joe, hit the old back-to-back follow.
Yeah. Do it.
I'm just
Do
saying.
it. Do it. Do it. Follow us at The Dirty Sports on Twitter and Instagram.
Yeah.
Leave us a review. And have a great, blessed day.
That's right, guys. All right, guys, that is the episode. We will be back later in the week. Enjoy your week. Hop in the comments. Let us know what you think. And again, I will send you beer koozies if you leave a iTunes review. Just drop your Instagram or Twitter handle. All right, Dirtballs, thank you for supporting the show. Hopefully you enjoyed it. And don't forget, stay dirty.